How do you decide on a subject for your online course? Stay with me and I'll show you the exact, easy, step-by-step method that I use and that I teach others. So what's so important about deciding on your course subject? You've got something that you're passionate about, why don't you just create a course? Well, one of the biggest mistakes that so many novice course creators make, especially when they're looking at doing their first course, is that they don't research to make sure there's a demand for what they're actually producing. If there's no demand, you won't sell any courses. How would you feel if you put lots of time and effort and potentially money into creating a really competent, excellent course, but nobody wanted to buy it because it wasn't what people were looking for? This is why it's really important to decide on your course subject and who it's going to help and how it's going to help them before you actually start creating anything. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing you need to do is to look at yourself, look inwards. What is it that you love doing? What are you passionate about? What do you really enjoy? Think about things that you might have enjoyed in your working life. I know I've had quite a long working life with lots of different roles. Some I absolutely hated and some I loved. So it's important to work your way through your working life mentally and think about things that you've enjoyed. These are the things that should be on your list. So write them down. Also think about what things have given you pleasure. And that's not just in your working life. What do you enjoy? What are your hobbies, or what were hobbies maybe that you had that you loved, but you had to give up because you didn't have time to do them? Think about all these things. What did you love or you still love now, you're really passionate about, and that you could potentially turn into a money-making venture by teaching others how to do what you've done? Think about anything else. What else do you love? What things are you good at? What do other people say you're good at? What do other people ask you for help with? Because they regard you as an expert, whether it's technical support on computers, for example, or whether it's how to do photography, or whether it's how to do knitting, or whatever it might be, anything. If you get regularly asked about how to do something, then you're regarded by friends or peers or work colleagues as an expert in that area, and these are things you should add to your list. Next, think about things you have experience with. Which of these do you love and enjoy? For example, you might have lots of experience with sailing or water skiing, or you might have experience with drawing or painting, something artistic like that. You might have lots of experience in a certain business discipline that you enjoy. That's something that others can benefit from if you can show them how to do it well. It's all about getting somebody over a hurdle. It's all about stopping people getting stuck. If you can help somebody get unstuck, get over a hurdle, move forward, then they'll pay for that. That's of great value. When you've listed the things that you've got experience with and that you've enjoyed and that you believe you can help others with, then move on to the next category. And this is things that bug you, things that frustrate you. Think about things that drive you mad. What is it you get cross about, even angry about? What is it? What is it that comes up again and again and you think, I wish somebody would solve that problem. I wish somebody would invent an automatic ironing machine that you could have in your home. So make a list of the things that bug you, things that frustrate you, things that annoy you. And it's probably quite a therapeutic thing to do, but if you do it and then write those down in one column, and in the column next to it you can write down what you think you could do about it, how you think you might be able to fix these problems for other people. Once you've completed this part, you've now gone through the 4 sections and listed the things in those sections. So these are things that you love, things that you're good at, things you've got lots of experience with, and things that bug or frustrate you. If you've got a list for each of these categories and you put them side by side, or have 4 columns on a piece of paper with the lists in each of the 4 columns, then look at them side by side and see if anything comes up in more than one column. Anything that occurs more than once is probably an area you should look at. The more it occurs, then the more it's probably an area that you could help other people with and get paid for doing it. So anything that comes up twice or more, highlight it or underline it so you can come back to it. That's the end of the first part, where you look inwards at yourself. Now we need to look out at what people want from you. So let's look at what your audience want. And do you know who your audience is? Once you've defined how you can help other people, you need to think about who that audience is. Who are the people you are helping? You can start to develop an avatar or an ideal customer persona for this group of people. What is the typical person like who would be your customer? You don't need to get into too much detail with this at this particular point. Just have a think about it and think who these people are likely to be. What sort of age group might they be? What problems might they have? What sort of job or role or no job at all might they have? What are their desires? What are their needs, their wishes? Where do they want to get to? What are they stuck with? So take some actions to find out what your customers, what your audience need from you. So firstly, write down who you think your audience is. Make some notes on the items I just mentioned. Then start to look at market demand. Make sure that there is demand for this subject. Do some searches on Google for what your ideal customer, what your audience might be searching for. Make sure there's plenty of other searches going on for that, and make sure there are plenty of results. What you don't want is to search for something and no results come up for it. That usually means not that there's no competition so you can corner the market. It usually means there's no demand because nobody else has bothered fulfilling that need, because there isn't a need. So you need to research the market demand, the number of people who are looking for what you are proposing to sell. So have a look around some searches on Google, and then get on social media, particularly Facebook, I think, in this instance, and see what discussions are going on around for it. Do some searches on Facebook. Find out how many groups there are that support the area that you're looking to create courses on. How many people are in these groups? Are they 20 people or 20,000? The more people there are in the groups, the more likely it is that there's big demand for these subjects. Following that, you'll need to look at the market supply and your potential competition, which is important, and I'll come on to that in a minute. But now let's just go back and look at the market demand by seeing how many people are searching for terms around your subject. And you can do this using one of 2 or 3 Chrome plugins. There's a couple of plugins that are available. I use Keywords Everywhere, but that does have a paid model, even though it's very cheap. Surfer SEO as a plugin for Chrome is also extremely good, and I'd recommend it. It's free. Just go into your Chrome settings and extensions and search for other extensions. Look for Surfer SEO or Keywords Everywhere if you prefer, and add it as an extension. Then when you go back and search in Google, you'll see on the right hand side of the page it comes up with search statistics, so that you can see how many people are searching for that term in the last month and how many people are searching for similar terms. So it will actually give you similar terms. They're both really useful plugins, but you only need one of them. When you look at the results from these plugins, you will see they have a comp or competitiveness column with a figure for each keyword or key phrase. And that number will be between 1 and 0. So if the number's 1, that means there's an immense amount of competition for that keyword. People are probably paying a lot in advertising, Google advertising, in order to get ranking well for that. If the figure for competitiveness is 0 or close to 0, that means there's almost no competition. And almost no competition probably means there's almost no demand. So you want something somewhere in the middle, anywhere between about 0.4 and 0.75 on the competition or comp column is exactly what you're looking for. This means there is quite a bit of competition, which means that there is clearly significant demand for those keywords, therefore demand for any course that you can create around that subject. But it's not so competitive that you won't be able to compete in the market. So take your list of words, particularly those that occur twice or more in your initial research, and search for them with Keywords Everywhere or SEO Surfer and see what the competitiveness figures come up for. If you get a reasonable competitive figure and you get quite a good number of searches every month, then they are potentially really good subjects for creating courses around. The results of this exercise will give you some subjects that you should seriously think about creating your course or courses around. These will be courses around subjects that you love, and you'll love creating it. You'll love helping other people with it, and you'll be good at it. These will be subjects for people who are stuck, people who are willing to pay you to get them unstuck, subjects that people want help with in order to get to their desired goals, to get to their desired destination. They need your help. Not only that, but you know, because of the work you've put in, that there will be a demand for your course when you've created it. And you'll also know that you won't need a massive budget to market and sell the course, because the demand is there and the competition is really not too great. So now that you've got your course subject or a few subject lines, make sure that you take the action that successful course creators need to take. Success is making money, but it's also helping others. And the more you help others, the more they'll come back for more, and the more they'll recommend you to other people. So I'd really suggest that you watch my next video on what successful course creators do that others don't. I'll see you in the next video.